Hello, and thanks for joining us again for another Fathom Alive, a live stream show dedicated to giving you tips and insights from experts in and around the real estate industry. I'm your host, Jeff Sturtz, and you're going to notice that we are dedicated to giving you tips and insights because we're gonna have the show no matter what. About 1:28, my computer decided to just totally freak out. And so we weren't able to use the other camera setup. But we're gonna still have the same conversation with our guest Bryce Olson today. So I'm looking forward to that. Bryce, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Good. Here, let me adjust there. There we go.
And I like this version better, by the way. I can see you better than in that dark room that you're normally in. So it's good to see.
All right, this will be more personal. Yeah. Which we've pretty much already done the whole show about a half hour ago, yakking the entire time leading up to this. So we've had some get to know you. But so we'll just jump right into things. Oh, by the way, I mean, same as always, guests, if you comment on either Facebook or YouTube, you're automatically entered into a drawing. This week, our winner is Katie Green. So you can win up to $200 of Go Social Agents listing package, a photo listing package, or $200 worth of yard signs. So one of those three are yours. So congratulations. But if you comment and we use your comment in the show, then you're automatically entered like 5 times into that drawing. So, anyways, Bryce, glad to have you here today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's get into it. So, by the way, your team name is The Bryce is Right, and your name is M. Bryce Olson. And I only just moments ago discovered what the M was in M. Bryce Olson. Why?
Yeah.
Why did you? Your parents gave you a nice first name, and you just said forget about it.
And I kind of feel bad about it because they named me Matthew because of a Bible verse about the Lord providing, so here I am going and changing that. But I don't want to ever lose that identifier, so I always put M in front of everything. And my parents, they gave me the name Matthew Bryce. And when I was 19, I was working at Target in Kansas City, and there were 7 other Matts. And I've always been someone that likes to stand out, I guess. I don't know what that really says of me, but And so I asked the girl at the front desk if she would make me a name tag that said Bryce. And so from that point forward, after that, I went to college in New York, and I guess I could, kind of be whoever I wanted to be and have a new identity or whatever. So I've been Bryce since then, and maybe the whole thing about the Bryce is right is kind of like a reminder to me that the Bryce is right. That's the name I go by, and that's what we call our team. And it's been fun, but that's Bryce.
So let's talk about that. You've been in real estate for 5 years, which is a pretty short amount of time compared to a lot of seasoned agents, and yet you've been able to scale from being a solo agent to a team of 9. What were you doing that you found as a solo agent that got your business rolling quickly? And you were part-time at the time too, right? Or dual career, whatever.
I never would call it part-time because nobody wants to work with a part-time realtor,
right.
I guess. But for me, I was dual career, and I went into it, honestly, without any expectation that it would ever really turn into anything. But I just felt led to start to do real estate and help people in that regard, and did work. So my previous job was the missions pastor at Cross Timbers Church here in the Denton-Argyle area. And I continued to do that, because I loved doing that. But then real estate kind of, started to get busy, and now I just do this, and I've started the team just over 2 years ago. So next month will be my 5th year as an agent.
Wow. So that's something in all of our conversation I didn't realize before. So you've only had a team for 2 years.
It's 2.5. Yeah. So wow. 2.5 years ago, we started the team, and in our first 2 years, we've won some accolades here locally and within Fathom and everything. So
yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. I never would have expected that this would be the reality of just kind of stepping out and saying, I'm going to start doing real estate a little bit. And then now it's turned into something that I couldn't have ever fathomed, if you will. But we really have built a great group of people around those of us that started the team.
So when why did you decide, I need to hire another person? And was that person just another agent right away? Who was the first person you employed outside of yourself to do work?
So I hired a transaction coordinator, and that was honestly birthed out of an extreme kind of emergency situation where I needed some assistance. As I said, I worked at the church, and I was a missions pastor, and I was still leading, 4 or 5 trips a year. And I was getting ready to embark on a trip to Uganda in Africa, going to be gone for 10 days. And at that time, I had 5 homes under contract.
Wow.
And had a 6th one that I was going to be listing during that 10 days that I was gone. They were ready to get that home listed. And I knew that I needed, I'm 12 hours away, different time zones and all of this, and didn't know what kind of cell phone service I was going to have. So I needed to bring someone on to help me with that, and thought that I was going to do that just for that time while I was gone. And then quickly realized that went really well. If I could take some of these things and have someone helping me, I can scale it that much more. And so, that was within a little over a year into the business, and then have started to, to take it to the point where we are now.
Interesting. So maybe a to-do for all of the agents watching that are, we're at the same production level as you, is to say, hey, you're going to go out into the woods for 7 days, 10 days. What are you going to do? And then force yourself to find somebody to pick up, what you have during that week. What do you think? We should make it a program. Extreme Real Estate by Bryce Olson.
Hey, you're onto something. But I do think that any agent would say that when they leave on vacation, that's when the business really starts rolling in and stuff. And so This obviously wasn't a vacation, but certainly similar in that I was going to be away and having to. It wasn't even so much that I was choosing to turn things off. I didn't have things to turn on.
Right.
So.
So was that person, did you just hire an employee, like a W-2 employee, or was it like 1099 transaction based? How did that work?
Yeah, it's transaction based. And so that was someone who, I was paying per transaction, and I would still be the, agent of record and everything, and the one who's keeping up with everything best I could at that time. But now I'm to the point where even if I only had one deal, going at that time, I would still have that assistance, because I know and I quickly recognize that the more I can do things that I'm passionate about, and the more things that I can stay in the lane of the ways that the Lord has gifted me, the better off I'm going to be, and the better off my clients are going to be served. So now, we've built a team with different people who lead in different ways, and we can unpack that a little later.
Yeah, I do want to explore that. So So I take it that paperwork is not your mojo.
It's not. No, I'm a people person, not a paper person. So the more I can just be out and about with people, meeting with people, and that's clients, that's other agents, that's agents that are inquiring about being on the team, that's vendors, lenders, all of the above. So the more that I'm just with people, the more I'm going to honestly enjoy my day too, because when I have to get to all the paperwork and stuff, I'm just going to be bogged down and kind of in a lane that I don't really love to be in.
Right.
And so to find someone who actually loves to do that is awesome. And that's been so cool. So, and I think that's the key of a team, is that we all have different things that we can bring to the table to make all of us better.
By the way, for those watching, feel free, as we get into this, throw out questions for Bryce. Maybe it's just an idea. And maybe he has, no expert answer to what you're saying, but just let's, have a conversation here. So if you have ideas or things you want to ask along the way, for sure. And we're monitoring that here. So why did you bring on another team member as an agent? And then And then my understanding is that, I mean, if this is only 2.5 years ago and you're up to 9, you quickly found more team members. So why did you decide to bring a team member on, an actual agent team member?
Yeah, well, I've always thrived in working, as a team and in a group. From leading the teams of, team members going to South and Central America and Africa and all around the world, I've always loved to be a part of a team. And so starting the team was really birthed out of a conversation with myself and a really good friend of mine who we just knew that we could do so much more together. And so then it led to, now we could add this other agent who could help and bring something to the equation to make us better. And that's just been the way that it's gone. But for me, it's because I love to collaborate. I love to work together. And there's something different and unique about being part of a team, even than just being part of the same brokerage or part of a realtor in the same city or anything like that.
Right.
And so there's something special and unique about it. The only one that I, know that well is ours. So I can only speak to ours, but I can say that we are a family, and culture is absolutely everything. And that's the number one of what we're looking for. And when we bring in someone new, is culture. So just to be able to be a group, a family together, that was really a desire that I had after I kind of saw some other teams and kind of saw what they were doing. And I just thought that would be something that I would love to be a part of too.
Yeah. So it's actually somebody asked, was your transaction coordinator an agent or more of a clerical person? By the way, that was Laura
so
Morgan.
She is a licensed. Okay, hey Laura. That person was then a licensed agent, and now we've brought in someone who's full-time on our team, and she's a licensed agent. She's been a licensed agent longer than me. So she really knows what she's doing. I guess I'm just the pretty face without the pretty face. But.
So does that person, that's all they do is manage, that they're not out buying, or they're not out selling homes? And
no, she was an agent prior to doing just transactional management. We call her a transaction manager for our team. And so she's had a lot of experience in all kinds of different realms and all kinds of different regard, but she is not actively producing. So when she gets a client coming to her, maybe from a past deal or from a referral from a friend, she gives that to our team.
Gotcha.
And so that's another element of leads that we generate, is just from people that send us referrals. She's one of them.
Which I want to understand a little bit more about leads, but when you brought on a full-time person to just do that kind of work, I mean, that's a little bit different than an agent. An agent, it's like there might be some sort of understanding that you're going to have to produce some of your work. We'll give you some, but a lot of it's going to be on you. Now it's like, here's your salary. We're paying you this regardless of whether the business come in. And I don't know how many people watching have actually done something like that. And so I'm asking, did that create some sense of, apprehension, anxiety? Like, man, we're taking a big leap now and putting somebody on full-time salary to do that kind of work.
So just to be fully clear, we still pay her by the transaction.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
So there was a misunderstanding. I don't want to misrepresent or anything, but
yeah.
Still pay her per transaction, and then do pay her for additional things that she does. But what I can say is that we keep her busy enough that she has had agents from the other side of deals that we've worked on together that have reached out to her and said, I want you to help me. Like, I need you on my team and stuff. And she's politely declined that. There's even agents within Fathom, honestly, even district directors within Fathom that I know of who have, talked to her about helping them because they've seen how.
Back off, guys. Back off.
Yeah. Well, and she has the ability to do anything that she wants to do.
Yeah.
But she stays busy enough with our team, and she's a part of our team, a very, very integral part of our team. And, we talk all the time, and she's really kind of keeping everything held together in a way that I know that I couldn't do, and I wouldn't be thriving if I tried to do.
Awesome. So how do you guys generate business?
Well, lots of ways. So myself personally, I generate just about all of my business just through referrals, through people that I know, just reaching out, asking if I can help them. And then we do provide leads to the team, and we've really scaled that pretty significantly. So we are in a lot of different zip codes all across North Texas. But the really cool thing that has happened is that agents have closed these transactions and worked with these leads, and then that's turned into referral business from those leads because of how great the agents take care of them. And now that's leading to them building their business, starting as a lead, and now that's a lifetime client that they'll have, and now they're getting referrals from them. And the other thing is that when an agent comes on the team and they start to get really busy with showings and really busy with closings and just really busy in general, their sphere and people that they know through social media and places will see them completely crushing it. And now they have complete confidence in reaching out to that person that maybe hasn't been an agent all that long, but they've seen how busy and how successful that they are. And so that's led to their sphere growing and using them more in
That's
addition
awesome.
to.
So you're kind of yoking a new agent with somebody that's experienced, and that just kind of pulls them along, and they're able to really kickstart their business by doing that. And would you say, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and the fact that the agents that we have on our team that are very experienced, to see how they take to the newer agents. And we have a process in place of bringing in a new agent where it's the choice of the complete team. I'm never like, this is our new team member team. Like we have a process in place where when we bring someone new in, we have steps in place where we have the existing team be a big part of that decision so that we're always going to stay consistent with the culture that we've created. And I think that's super, super key. And I think for the agents that come on the team, they love to know that they're going to have an equal voice, with me or anyone else on the team. I think I went way in a different direction. So I'm sorry. What was the question?
No. And I was listening. I don't know. I lost it.
Okay.
It's gone. Well, I was going to mention, you got some warm fuzzies on Facebook from Michael Creighton. So he's glad that you're with Fathom. To
bring me into Fathom, so I have Michael forever to thank for bringing me in. And
I think there's a lot of agents that have Michael to thank. So Laura Paulina says, if I start my own team, what my duties are with the other agents, or what are my duties with the other agents, and how would you recommend me to start approaching other agents to be a part of my team?
The first part of the question
I think she said, what are my duties with the other agents? In other words, like, what am I responsible for as a team leader?
Yeah, so there's all kinds of different models. There are teams that don't provide leads. There's teams that do a lot of training. There's teams that do pay tons of money for leads. And then there's teams that people just like to work together with other people, and they have, all kinds of different splits for that and stuff. But for us, we try to provide a good mixture of trainings and opportunities for growth and for experience, bringing in people that we allow to go do showings. And because we are in South Lake and West Lake and some of the really affluent areas around here, these agents that are brand new are out showing multi-million-dollar properties, and then they're posting about those on their social media. And, and here I am already going in another aside again. But the duties to the team, I'll stay focused, are it's really what does the agent that's come on the team need? Honestly, there's for me, the duties that I have is to lead our team in a way where I've created a team of leaders, because I know that I can only lead and help in this one regard, but have people who are helping in all these different ways is really cool. And then I do provide leads, and I provide them, just to be able to get a hold of me anytime. We do have some things where we have like a Monday call where we're going to talk about what are our goals for the week and really kind of helping with that coaching aspect. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about how did the week go? What do I need to work on? Did I get accomplished what I need to do? And then Friday's a good day to say, hey, what's cooking for the weekend? And what open houses are you doing? And what are you going to be busy with? What do you might need help with? And so we do that. And then we have a daily checklist, which we call our high five, which the goal is to get 500 points in a week. And those check marks are things like, checking in with our clients, sending out a video message, writing handwritten cards, like lots of different things that are going to lead to business. So it's going to celebrate those daily activities, that if we do those daily activities, we're going to have a successful business. And so providing all kinds of things like that as well. And then every agent on the team has another agent on the team to be their accountability buddy, where they're going to have that help and support from someone else. And we rotate that quarterly so that everyone on the team can also build strong bonds and relationships with everyone else on the team. And then that diversifies everyone's skill sets, and then it starts to transcend across the whole team.
So the great thing about YouTube and Facebook is that you can rewind. So if you didn't catch all of that, viewers, there was a ton of great stuff in there as far as how to structure a team. I mean, so just kind of recapping, you have people that within the team that pair up, right? And you said you rotate that quarterly. So I'm with, another team member, and we work together to try to sharpen each other, to give each other advice or look for advice, that kind of thing. But you also have weekly team meetings, and then you also have your daily high five. Like, make sure you're doing these things every single day.
Yeah, so we do a monthly team meeting that's a training, and then we do every other, so once a month we do a training where we bring someone in, whether that's a lender, a title company, or someone who's an expert in some certain regard, and then and that person will usually bring us in lunch and stuff like that, and that's always a lot of fun. And then we have another team meeting that's led by one of our team members to kind of give them a voice to lead in a certain way
that's awesome.
That they're really gifted in. A brand new thing that we just started, we're now calling Work TAT, TAT, which is work together as a team. And so once a week, and this is actually starting this week, so this is a brand new thing, and we'll see how it goes. But it starts tomorrow, where we're just going to have a coffee shop that we're going to camp out at and work together as a team. And I think it's good for just us to be kind of casual about it too. We don't need to be super formal every time we meet and stuff. And I think that's the beauty of our group, is that because we are so closely knitted and stuff, we celebrate each other's wins in real estate, and we celebrate each other's things that we have going on in our lives and stuff too. So
when we talk about team culture, see, the coffee shop thing, you're doing that now. But when you're talking about team culture, you're not talking about like, oh, we have an espresso machine at the shop and we all, have high fives, and you have your daily high five, which you call a high five. Yeah. But I'm saying it's not just people hanging out. You guys are mentoring, you're presenting stuff, you're constantly in communication to try to sharpen the group.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more than just people getting along with one another. That's like very intentional, which is awesome. Blake Loughborough also sends you warm fuzzies, but he says, what are the other duties of your TC?
Well, so, it can be, to be honest, the main thing that she focuses on is the transaction management. However, that's a conversation that we are having, I'm kind of coming up with right now, so I don't have a whole lot to speak on of that, but the goal would be for a lot of the just tasks that come up throughout the day. Sometimes I find that when I meet with someone, and one thing about me, and we'll try not to do this on this call, but if we have a meeting, it might go an hour and a half, 2 hours, to keep going and stuff, and then I tell my wife, I'm like, well, they were still talking, and she's like, well, they were just being nice.
Yeah, you have that problem too.
When an hour and a half, 2 hour meeting, and then I look at my phone and I have all these texts and all these missed calls and stuff. If I could have someone who could help with some of those things of like, when are you free? Can you meet with me next week? And I have that Calendly link or things like that. I think that would be something I'm really working towards. But I talk to Blake a lot, so I'll keep him updated on how that goes. But it's still kind of a work in progress. But honestly, it's a lot of those things like I need to go to a listing appointment 3 meetings from now, but because I'm going to be meeting with people and talking that whole time between now and then, I'm not going to have that time to create that CMA to the level and the, thoroughness that I would like to. And so I want to make sure to always give people the best product. And sometimes that means that I have someone else help me who's going to be better at that than me. And that's something I've really recognized. And I think that hopefully shows that I don't want to be someone that says I'm the best at everything, but I can say as a team, we have gotten so much better all because of everyone else, to bring so many different things.
I'm going to ask one more question that Blake asked here. There's so many questions. All right, well, let's try to hit these rapid fire real quick. Otherwise, we're, like you said, between you and me, we'll go for 2 hours. So if people want to watch for 2 hours, I guess we could keep going. I mean, people are still watching. So thank you for thank you for watching. But he asked, with a little bit of envy in his tone, how did you break into the luxury market?
The real answer is by spending money.
Fork out the dough. So as you're making money, you're like, okay, we're going to start generating leads from these neighborhoods by...
And it's because we've taken care of those people, though, that we have now taken that beyond just the leads. Like, in fact, just today, I had a closing with a client of mine that I had just helped he's doing a custom build, and it's a $3.2 million home. And now he relocated from out of state, and he's now bringing his mom. And today we closed on the house with his mom. And, and so to be able to help him on that first deal, and then now he has his mom and he's talking about other people coming this way and stuff too. So you got to kind of start somewhere. So we started somewhere, and then now that's leading into business breeds business and stuff.
Right.
And so to tap into that market, it was a little bit scary, a lot scary, because, leads and things, they're
expensive.
Do cost money.
Yeah.
And then,
and we're not talking like a couple $100. We're talking a lot of money, right, to get into those. So it's an investment. It's just like, but that's, what's that?
Ask my wife about that money, especially.
She's like, what? We're spending how much on what?
But, now we're to a point where she agrees, and she believes that it's a good investment. And also because I believe in our team members, I would send them out to look at any, to help any client with any deal. It's not like I keep the top,
Right.
Other agents, 4 other agents that are doing multi-million-dollar deals here in just the past few months. So
that's awesome. And then, real quick, let's see if we can make this like 30 seconds. Does each team member do listings and buying?
Yes.
Okay. There. That was 5 seconds. Now you know.
So I'm the one that needs to make these things concise. So I'll do better.
No. You're fine. You're fine. It goes both ways. Alicia Ayers asks, what kind of regular marketing do you use to help increase your business? But maybe with that, because I know we talked before, you said that, and you've said all along in this interview here, that you play off the strengths of your different team members. And one of the things that you had said before when we were talking is like, this person you discovered or they discovered are really good at TikTok or something like that. And so now all the team knows how to do TikTok because of this one person. So, I mean, what does your marketing look like outside of you're buying leads to some degree, you're getting referrals? What else does it look like on a regular basis?
Yeah, so we have a marketing director on our team to keep that consistency and to keep things in front of people. And we've really started more to shift that focus from just looking like, like the house the 2 houses that I closed on today and the multiple houses that team members, we're not going to post every single one of those to the point where we're just like the just sold, just listed machine where it's like, it's just, you just see this constantly, but we're looking for that personal story and that connection that someone else can see that I've been wanting to buy, and now this family was able to do it, and here's how they did it. We really want to kind of make it more personal and relational rather than just be a blast of, hey, look at us, kind of thing. And I mean, there's all kinds of models, and I'm not saying that that's not a good model for some. But for us, we really try to make those personal connections. And I believe that people connect to stories. And because I did formerly work as a pastor, and you can see that I have no lack of words, we like to share those stories, and we like
Yeah.
to to let people know, to make that personal connection. And that's the other way that people connect with us and want to work with us, because they see something about us that they can connect to, because we're sharing our stories and being vulnerable to, to also say the things that aren't so good sometimes and stuff too, and sometimes the hard days, and just really trying to show a behind the scenes, picture, though that's something that we're working on getting better at too. So
your marketing director is also an agent, or do you just have someone that's strictly marketing?
no, she is a full-time agent as well. So
Okay.
and she is doing things and getting onto places that I hate to say it, but I don't want to say it's an age thing or whatever, but maybe I'm just get too accustomed to the things that I've been doing. So to bring that, that whole approach has been really good. And then to see other agents on our team that might not have ever even dipped into TikTok, but because they've seen her doing it, they're like, hey, you know what? I think that'd be really fun for me to do too. And then whenever that agent starts the TikTok, then I send it to our team on a thread that we're all doing. And I'm like, look at Mary, look, she's on TikTok. And then we all celebrate that, and we all go, engage with her stuff too, which goes back to just all of us supporting each other.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds fun. It sounds really fun.
You should join us.
Always selling. So,
but was there a question earlier, the second part of the question that was saying, how do you recruit? And so the answer to that question is, I don't really do a lot of recruiting. Honestly, people are coming to us.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're probably going to get a few text messages after today's show.
I'm ready for it. So we are growing. We're bringing in more agents right now.
And you're in the Denton area. You're in Denton.
We're everywhere. We're in Texas. Our license is for Texas.
Right.
So we do have, we really go up to the Oklahoma border, and then all the way down to the southern, even south of Fort Worth. So we cover the metro beyond. How do
you stay sharp as a team leader? How are you developing and growing?
By talking to people like you,
right.
I would. So different things that I do.
Do you have a coach?
I do. Yeah, I do. I have a coach, and we talk weekly, and he even comes into one of our calls every other month, where he's going to come in and do a specific training. And the really amazing thing about him, and I'm happy to share his contact with anyone if they want to speak with him too, is the 9 of us on our team couldn't be more different. Like we all have this thing that we all click, but we're also so diverse and so different. And I mean, we even speak 5 languages as a team. And so we all are very different, come from lots of different backgrounds, but we all connect and resonate so well with him. And I think that speaks very highly to him, because I don't know of too many people that would be able to, to make that connection with people that are so different from us.
That's really cool.
So we do have, I do read.
Yeah. What books are you reading, or your favorites?
So right now, we recently took a little trip to Colorado, and I was listening to an audio book, and it was actually recommended to me by my coach, and it's called The Road Less Stupid. And it's all about clarity and focus and having your goals in front of you. And then it'll have, like, the end of the chapter will say, here's the chapter written on a bumper sticker, and it has like that summary statement. And for me, I need that, because you can tell, I need that summary. And if you ask me to summarize, I can't do it. So maybe things like reading that book and stuff will help me to get that bumper sticker approach.
So I started reading it since you recommended it when we talked the other day, and yeah, fantastic book. It just generates thoughts constantly in your head, which is great. And he talks a lot about stupid tax, like how much we pay in stupid tax, like the money that we waste because we weren't thinking things through. And I thought that's a really good way of sort of, summarizing that concept, dumb tax. Do you know a Penny Olson, by the way?
That's my mom.
Okay. She said she's glad you inherited your dad's gift of gab.
And that's my dad. And one quick story about my dad. I was thinking about, I guess when we were talking the other day. So when my dad comes to Texas from Kansas City, go Chiefs, by the way. When he comes here to Texas and I take him to the Texas Rangers game and I go into the restroom, I come out from the restroom and my dad is introducing me to people from Denton. You know what I mean? So I'm one tiny fraction of the gift of gab that I did inherit from my dad, but it came honestly, and I think I'm going to be that way whether I want to be or not. But thankfully, it has paid off, and now it's been able to lead to something that another broker when I was getting into real estate said that you're going to be guaranteed to be very successful because you know people and those people trust you. And so that's what I would tell any agent is that you need to be out and about and meeting people. And the less that you can make it about real estate and the more you can make it about community and just taking care of people and being involved in your kids' schools or in your neighborhood, the more you can do that and the more you just do it to who you are, the more that business is going to come. And so I would just really tell people to continually always be meeting new people, and then for them to know that you can trust them. And I guess that's just something that they're going to know based on you connecting with them and them just knowing that you are about things of more than just yourself and everything. So,
well, very good. Last thing, any other books? I mean, I kind of cut you off on that one, and then there's comments here and there, but I mean, it sounds like you've answered a lot of questions.
So yesterday I was reading a book, and since we talked 2 days ago, this came after we talked last. And I have a little excerpt. It's just a small, I promise it won't take long, but can I read a little portion of a book that I just read? And I think it might connect in some ways. Okay, cool. First of all, this is a little advertisement, but the book is called Obsessed, and it's by a girl named Emily Hayward. And this portion of the book says what community really means. And this book is like about marketing and stuff. I think the best books, honestly, are not the books that say how to sell 100 homes in 30 days or whatever. And I still haven't figured out a way to do that, but we're still working on that. But this portion of the book is what community really means. And it says, effective branding is all about creating connections. By tapping into consumers' sense of their own identity, brands build a connection with their audiences. People feel an affinity towards brands they love that extends beyond their relationship with the products. It's the way the brand makes them feel about themselves, but it doesn't stop there. I feel like I'm reading a bedtime story to you or something.
I know, it's like LeVar Burton here.
Brands that achieve true cult-like status create a sense of connection, not just with their consumers, but among them too. A camaraderie forms among people who love the brand, even if they never actually interact with each other. If a brand speaks to their identity and their values, then it follows that people would feel connected to others who share those values. That's how businesses with a clear sense of purpose are able to build a community in ways that other similar businesses can't. And I think that just goes back to people connect with you because of your values, because of the things that they connect with. Like Fathom has made a name for itself because it's a place that's built on servant leadership. And that starts with Josh Harley all the way to the district directors to the agents on teams and everyone within Fathom. And that's why Fathom is selective in who they bring into the brokerage. And that's the same that's true of our team. We're very selective in who we bring in. We had a time recently where we had 6 agents who had recently talked about wanting to be on our team. So I brought those 6 after I had one-on-ones with all of them. I brought them in front of our team. And so this was just about culture and getting to know, not anything super scary or formal or anything. But I know that when agents on the team are saying, this one is the fit for our team, and unanimously they could say that, and that's when we brought in an agent on our team. And then later we had a spot that opened up with one of those other 6 has now come onto our team as well and stuff. But I think it's people want to connect with something that's more about than just look how many closings we're doing and look how great I am. But when they can see that we're involved on boards in local nonprofits, and that's multiple agents on our team do that, and that they're doing things for their kids' schools, and that's multiple agents on our team that do that. When we're doing those kind of things, that's, I think, where the business really comes together. And so I think that sometimes we think too hard and too much about what do I need to be doing today for real estate, and we just need to be living a life that's taking care of people, loving others, and putting others before ourselves, and that business comes. So that's just, I guess, my little sermonette for today.
I think that's a great place to close there. So thank you for tons of great material. I hope people were paying. I mean, there was people hanging on here the whole time, listening. So hopefully they got something beneficial out of it. I'm sure they did. And good job. And it sounds like it's a really fun business to be a part of. And hopefully that inspires other people to create those kinds of cultures. And it starts with you too. I mean, as you being the proverbial team leader, it starts with that person really believing these things themselves about people, about values, that you can't just throw that together. If you're a cockroach, you're going to be a cockroach no matter what, until you change your ways. You can't just be that kind of person and then pretend to be a team of values. It doesn't work. So, all right. Well, what's that?
I just said thank you, and those are very kind words, by the way. And I'm always here if anybody ever wants to reach out. So.
All right. Well, you might have some people. They did ask for the coach's info,
okay.
And you can get on Facebook if you want to drop a comment there, or on YouTube. You can drop a comment with that info. And yeah, well, we'll let you go. And for those of you that are still watching, thank you for hanging on. I know we were a little bit late getting on here, but if you're not a Fathom agent, you want to learn more about this company, then go to fathomcareers.com, and you're going to find out that this is a company that works for you. You don't work for the brokerage. And it's about owning the business yourself. It's about branding yourself. It's about having the tools and technology to do business well and not being nickeled and dimed for all the stuff that you use. You're gonna find our entire fee schedule linked right off of our homepage. And so we're very open about what we do, and you can look at our last quarterly results. You can look at our agent attrition rate. Fathom is becoming a force to be reckoned with in the real estate world because, like Bryce said, we're a company that believes in what we say. And so check us out, fathomcareers.com. Our next guest is a partner company with us, or an affiliate company with us. She's from there, Angela Krieg, and she's from Dagley Insurance. So she's going to be talking about their culture, their business, and so I'm looking forward to having her on, and I think she might be bringing another team member on as well, so looking forward to that here in a couple of weeks. We'll see you then.